is up? We're back. Woo!
Sad day for all you comedy folks out there today.
Yeah.
Patrice O'Neal passed away from complications of a stroke. Way too young at 41 years old. For you people who have not had a chance to watch him or see him perform, you should. That is a funny man.
Yes, he was quite the funny comic and a very good friend of Norton's.
Yeah, Jim Norton. Jim Norton calls Patrice O'Neal his best friend, which, I mean, if you ever listen to Opie and Anthony, and they are a riot, and they have Jim Norton on there, and Patrice O'Neal will come in, and it's just, they break balls, dude. Yeah. It is hilarious.
R.I.P. our friend. Yes. Now, moving on to out of the gloomy situation into some MMA shit.
On Ion TV.
Yes, UFC 140. Now, when he says Ion TV, that will be where the preliminaries will be
4 fights.
aired. 4 fights. That's actually pretty impressive.
Yeah, that's damn impressive because you figure, what, 15 minutes a fight, so half hour. They're going to be squeezing in commercials.
Yeah. Now, after you're able to view the preliminary bouts on Ion TV, you can go
to pay-per-view, your local bar, and pay for it. Please do not come here looking for the fight. We do not have it. We do not have clips. We have our own issues with that shit.
Right. Anyway,
nasty
we're going to start out with
watch the damn clip first.
Right. Just all you got to do, man.
All you got to do is watch our show. Watch the first 5 minutes. If there ain't no video clip, click off.
Right.
You ain't got to flag it.
Yeah. No reason to do that shit. Featherweight bout. Mark Hominick versus... forget it. I'm not even going to say his name because everybody knows him as the Korean Zombie. Now, I'm going to, right off the bat.
Jave.
Mark Hominick was on a nasty roll. A nasty 5 straight victories.
And then what had happened?
He met the champion.
Jose Aldo.
And that shit didn't go too good. Although
it was a tough fight.
He did put up a good fight against Jose Aldo.
I think that was another one of those matches where you just didn't do enough to beat the champ. I mean, you're going to have people who thought Hominick won. You're going to have people who think Aldo won. But I think
Aldo won.
Oh, yes.
I mean, that's just me personally.
I like Aldo. He's an entertaining fighter. Now, with that said, I have a feeling this one is going to be a stand-up battle. Even though Hominick does have the ability to take you down, we've seen the Korean Zombie in his last couple bouts.
He likes to scrap.
Yeah.
I mean, both of them have a Muay Thai and kickboxing. Both of them have a Muay Thai background and kickboxing background. So it could be a I would like to see the fight stay up.
I would too.
Because I think it could be really exciting if it goes
this has potential to be fight of the night. It might get a little bonus. But Hominick last time, wasn't that the dude? No, it was Everall who got knocked the dude out because
he was wearing those draws.
Ebersol.
Speaking of Brian Ebersol, he will be fighting Claude Patrick in a welterweight bout. Okay. Now, both of these guys are undefeated in the UFC. I said in the UFC, not
one's
in MMA.
2-0, one's 3-0.
The UFC. But Ebersol not only has experience at knocking out people that come in the ring in Speedos, but he has just a lot of experience altogether. He's been fighting for a long time. And they're both ground fighters. Ebersol being a wrestler. Patrick is a brown belt in BJJ. What do you got?
I think Patrick's going to tap Ebersol out.
For real?
Yep.
Faux shizzle?
Yep.
My nizzle?
Yep.
Oh, really?
Yep.
I
got the zombie kill. I got the Korean Zombie in the first fight, and I'm going with Claude Patrick in the second fight.
And remember that. George has got the Korean Zombie. I'm going against him. I'm going with Hominick, okay? All you Canuck fans out there, give me a mad shout out. You're going to be going with Canadian boy in the second one.
Never mind.
I'm going to be going with Ebersol.
I don't cheer for Canadians. I'm going with Ebersol.
Look at George Shoulders roll. Anyway, now,
Loser.
This is going to be another interesting matchup. The next fight is a light heavyweight bout between Tito Ortiz.
He was 1-7 in his last fights. And by 1-7, I mean he has 1 win out of 7 bouts.
Yeah, I mean he's had 5 losses and a draw.
And Lil Nog is 2-2 in his last 4 fights, all in the UFC. So
now, this is what I will say. Tito Ortiz looked very impressive
versus Bader.
I was very impressed. I'm like, okay.
Rashad worked his ass.
Then he came up against Rashad and in a rematch, and he was fighting up against a Rashad who was just pissed. Yeah. I think right now people need to watch out for Rashad because he's like, I want my fucking belt back. But it just ended up Tito got the short end of the stick. He got worked. Now, with that being said,
I got Tito Ortiz winning this fight. Even though Lil Nog is favored, I think Tito Ortiz is going to find a way to win this because if you look at Nog's last 2 losses, it's to people that Tito has fought and been fairly successful against.
Yeah, because, I mean, Bader was one of them.
Yeah.
And Did he beat Brills?
I think Brills.
He beat Brills. Yeah, I agree with George. I think Tito Ortiz. I'm gonna lean towards Tito Ortiz winning this fight. One reason is Tito Ortiz did take that last fight on short notice. He just said fuck it and did it, and that was.
And if you remember, I think everyone here that night thought it was a mistake for Tito Ortiz to take that. I thought he should have taken the Ryan Bader fight and then taken a little bit of time off and then gone ahead and picked up another fight. But Tito was like, whatever, because basically Dana White threw him some cash.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
You know,
but I think Tito's going to find a way to beat Lil Nog in this case.
Yeah.
So.
Now, heavyweight bout. A rematch.
And what happens in rematches?
Usually they repeat themselves.
You know, that's not what I was thinking. One of them gets a chance to
totally redeem themselves. And that's what Big Nog will be trying to do.
Big Nog's got a shot to vanquish a loss.
Yeah, that he received from Frank Mir by TKO.
In 2008. So that was
UFC 92. What do you think about this?
If Big Nog comes out the way he did from his last absolute dismantling of Brendan Schaub, Frank Mir's going to have problems.
He could, because, I mean, the Big Nog we saw in the last fight, he said everything's healthy. All his joints were healthy. He felt good. He felt light on his feet. He looked completely like a different fighter.
Yes.
I mean, the fights that we had seen, I think the two previous fights, he looked a little bit slow. He looked like he was moving slow. He didn't have a good lateral movement, but not when he fought Schaub.
No, he destroyed Brendan Schaub. It wasn't even close. And Frank Mir's last fight was against who? Roy Nelson?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's when they remember it was a very sluggish fight.
Oh my God, it was terrible. Both were coming off long layoffs. Both of them looked horrible. They were leaning on each other in that third round. Right. I mean, I'm not taking anything away from Frank Mir. Frank Mir can do it on his feet, and Frank Mir can do it on the ground. Yeah. Big Nog can do it on his feet and can do it on the ground. He showed us in his last bout, his hands are crisp.
Oh yeah, his hands are crisp as shit. They both have good hands. They both are very well-rounded fighters. If you had to base everything on their last performance, you know what I mean? You would probably lean towards Big Nog, but I tend to lean towards.
Yeah, Mir's the favorite in this fight, which I mean, I don't know. And to me personally, whoever wins this should get either the winner of this should fight Junior Dos Santos. I think. Really? Yep. Because Junior Dos Santos is going to wait around because you have Lesnar and Overeem fighting, and the winner of that then fights. But I'm sorry, JDS has the belt.
Yeah,
Cain Velasquez.
Yeah, because that's what I was wondering.
I apologize. I'm feeling a little under the weather.
George is a little under the weather, a little delirious. Yeah, kind of fucked up.
No. The winner of this should fight Cain Velasquez. Brain dead. Huh? Winner of this should fight Cain Velasquez.
I agree. That's what. Yeah, they should definitely. The winner should definitely fight Cain Velasquez.
And then maybe the loser should face the loser of the Overeem Brock match.
That would be a good thing. You need to call up Dana and say, "Look, man, I'm going to set up all your matches." I know
I could do it.
George could do it. Now, all these matches are good, and they of course play a significant role.
And let me tell you, this fight right here is the reason we're all buying the pay-per-view.
Exactly.
This is a fighter who is starting to build up like that type of Anderson Silva, Duke basketball, New York Yankees, Patriots type following. Mm-hmm. Either you love him or you hate him.
Now, and I'm going to tell you
Ric Flair.
Woo! It's funny. I was going through an old video of ours that just has been crazy popular on the web lately, and we were talking about it was when Kimbo Slice fought Houston Alexander, and in that video, during that fight, we talked about two fighters. One of the fighters was Frankie Edgar. It's so funny to look back over 2 years ago how and we were like, yeah, Frankie. I go, yeah, Frankie Edgar disposed of this guy, and you go, yeah, but he's still just a mid-tier fighter. He'll never beat Kenny Florian. He'll never hold the belt, right? But. And we didn't know because you don't know what's happening. You know, I mean, shit changes. But then we were talking about Jon Jones, and we both were like we saw it back then 2 years ago. We were like, this fucking guy is just fucking crazy. And we were talking about that 2 years ago, and now look where he's at. With that being said,
he's getting ready to dispatch of his third champion.
Yeah, I mean, he is walking through all former champions like they're nothing, and just it's a joke. It really is. I mean, he is annihilating them. I'm going to have to believe he'll probably do the same thing to Lyoto Machida. Machida has never faced a guy this tall. He's given up 10.5 inches
in reach.
I mean, that means this motherfucker can steal you from halfway across the damn cage.
Well, what I'm going to find interesting is to see what Jon Jones does. Because in my opinion, Machida doesn't have the most power in the world. Mm-mm. He generates his power from his legs. Mm-hmm. And the best way to not get kicked upside the head is close the distance.
Yeah.
So if he closes the distance, because I don't think Jon Jones is going to come out respecting Machida's power quite like he did with Rampage. That was that weird stance Jones came out with, and Jones kind of didn't want to get knocked out
on the ground like a damn spider.
And Jones didn't want to get knocked out by Rampage because Rampage, in my opinion, next to Dan Henderson, those two are probably the two hardest punchers in MMA.
Right,
period.
They can drop you quick.
And I don't think Jon Jones has to worry about that. So this one, it's not going 5. I think Jon Jones is going to dispatch of Machida no later than the 3rd and as early as the 2nd.
He is. I mean, and you have to look at the two people that, as a reason that Machida's lost to, is Rampage and Shogun. And
anyone see what Jones did to them?
Just you know.
And what does anyone remember what Rampage said after the fight?
Yeah, it was just like he's at another level.
Yeah, he said that boy's the truth. He's like the hype is real, and that's, to me, that's a humongous compliment.
You're making up new words.
Yeah, humongous.
Humongous.
Yeah.
Wrap that one up and send it to someone for Christmas.
Yeah.
Oh, mommy, I got a humongous. Oh, it's another bad word from Uncle George.
Yes, I turned the mic off for that.
George does that every once in a while. We found a new trick so we can mute ourselves, so we don't have to have James censor us all the time. Woo. Anyway,
I think Jon Jones will put on a show. It's going to end, like I said, between the 2nd and 3rd. It'll get out of the 1st because you're going to see feeling out. And if this is the typical Machida, 2 punches and haul ass across the ring.
Yeah. I think if he establishes leg kicks and just chips away at Machida and he gets in on him. I mean, the thing is, Machida just kind of waits for you to do things and he kind of counters you. I mean, and he kind of eludes you. I mean, he's so fucking elusive. But
ask Shogun how elusive that motherfucker was. Shogun whipped his tail.
Yeah. I think once he locks up, and Jon Jones is so strong, I mean, he's deceivingly strong with those long limbs. I think it's a wrap. I think as soon as he gets in, I think the fight will not go more than 2 minutes from the moment he gets him in. A Muay Thai clinch or whatever the fuck he'll get him in.
Damn.
So I'm going with Jon Jones, TKO, 2nd round.
Yeah, I gotta end it Jon Jones between 2nd and 3rd.